Come join Libby, Molly, and Tiffany, the ladies of Consignment Chats, where we talk about all things consignment.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Libby.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Everybody, welcome to CChats. This is episode 29, and it is another CChats Spotlight, our favorites.
These are my favorites. I love them, love them, love them. And so we have a guest. We're not going to tell you her business. We're going to let her tell you when she joins us. Her name is Catherine Burch. I cannot wait to get to know more about her. The little Libby knows a little bit more about her than I do. I am so excited to get to know her better because a little bit that I've seen, I can't fathom she's anything but amazing. So let's go talk to Catherine.
Yes. All right.
Ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You point that way, I'll point this way.
All right. So whatever way.
Let's go. Hey, Catherine.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. We are so excited to have you here, and we have not told everybody your business name. They only know that your name is Catherine Burch because we want to let you tell them your business name and all the good information about who you are and what you do. So I am going to jump in. I'm so excited to hear more because you have some great quotes. In fact, I'm going to start off something random because one of your quotes on your website, I just loved it. So I screenshot it, and I'm going to start with sharing this. And then I'm going to move on to the next question. I know we don't normally do it, but I just found it to be great. You have on your website, when you voice your struggles, it opens a pathway to make what's uncomfortable comfortable and success achievable. And I just that's so powerful and so inspiring. And so true. So I just had to share that, and we'll share that.
Catherine was actually one of the first people I talked to when I, reached out to the reselling community when we first started this community building journey. So, I mean, that just says it all, honestly. Sorry to interrupt, but it just, wow, Molly. Yeah, you really summed it up nicely.
I love it. She summed it up, but I just think it's her quote. I want to share that on our social media, if you're okay with that, so that people who are listening to the podcast, and I will use this image of you with your quote, and we'll put it out there the week that this airs so people can see it. So
right. Absolutely.
It's a very inspiring quote. So thank you for sharing that.
It goes to the core of what the business is about, Reselliant.
All right. So that was my next question was, what is the name of your business and where is it located?
Well, Reselliant is called Reselliant. It's a play on words with resilient and reselling. I'm in Hampton, and so that's the business name.
I think that is so smart. I mean, everything you come up with is just so well thought out, and there's just so much meaning behind. Most of the content you put out there is just, so thoughtful, and it's something you don't see that often in the reselling community. It's all like a lot of times it'll be about the next thing, the next quick thing, the next bolo, and you really put a lot of thought and heart into, what you say and the advice you offer. So I really appreciate that.
So
thank you.
I think a lot of people from this are going to come find you because they're going to be so inspired by this. So why did you start your business? What's your why? What got you into this and realizing this is clearly a gift that you have?
Well, I started Reselliant because of my personal struggles. And I was going through challenges in my personal life that was playing into how it was impacting my business and taking me out of my natural element of who I was. And those struggles, it's like I said, I wasn't voicing the struggles. I wasn't talking about it. I was dealing with it all here and keeping it in and trying to run a business. And it was taking me way off track. I wasn't reaching what I wanted to do. And once I finally was able to have that breakdown and say what I needed to say, and start seeing the change for me in my business, I said, other people are probably going through the same thing. And I used to do professional development coaching through QA and stuff like that, and helping people move through their barriers then that way. but I didn't understand. I never been in an entrepreneurship position to understand how much of ourselves is engrossed into the decisions we make about our business. Is why I had started Reselling, because this is about not just having a conversation about business strategy, but it's about the conversation we have about ourselves and how we impact our business as individuals. So it's about understanding ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, that's so important. And I think especially we see that a lot in the reselling community, because a lot of us are working by ourselves and we are solely responsible for our business, the outcomes, the decisions. And, you know, a lot of times, even with that, like if you don't have a strong community, you're carrying all that right here. You're carrying all that right here. And it's so important to, be able to voice that. And sometimes there's nobody until you find your tribe. There's nobody to voice that to.
Right.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Without a doubt.
Exactly. I fully agree with that. Being in that position and having it in your head and walking it through it by yourself. And you can't take all that and you can't think straight when all of that is in your head. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. And that's what I love about you saying you got to speak it. You got to speak it and get it out there. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I love the whole why. And we know you're in Virginia, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So where do people find you? I mean, because we all do this online. We're all in different, even the Consignment Chats community, is all over the, North America pretty much at this point. And like, where will people find you and, get to take advantage of your advice?
Okay, well, mainly I'm on Instagram right now, putting everything out there on Instagram, the things that I'm addressing on Instagram. I was doing a podcast for a moment, but as I was like pivoting my store, I got away from the podcast. But there's things like behind the scenes that's working to build back up the podcast, and I'll be relaunching it in August with YouTube content, which is educational and interviews, things that I've been doing on the side, just to kind of give them a big package that people could walk into that space and just pick and choose what's going to work for them to help them grow as individuals.
Oh, wow. So you're working on all your content behind the scenes right now. Okay. So we're going to look for you on Instagram, and then I'm sure you'll link that all into your YouTube when you release your content. How exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I love it.
Oh, now, your first podcast, I'm a real big podcast listener, and your first podcast for Reselliant was a lot about tribe building. And that really resonated with me, because that was the reason that we started Consignment Chats and started building the community, was to, have a tribe and have people to talk to that can identify with, what we're doing. And I just love that. Now, if you could give us, like, what do you think the most important thing about finding a tribe, or you had such good advice in that podcast, I would just, love to know your thoughts about building a tribe and what works and maybe what some of the pitfalls are.
Right. I remember our discussion of why you guys had started the Consignment Chats, and I absolutely, it resonated with me and I understood it. And I fell in love with that. So you're right. It's about sharing that information that's hard to get. With the content that I'm trying to put out there about a tribe to help people understand is that thing about you being in your head and you can't think all at one time. When you're tribe, it's different from masterminds. And tribes is a community effort for one focus. So and you could structure it in any different way, but it's really about everyone sitting at a table and talking about where you are at that moment, from soul up, from yourself to throughout your business. And there's different brains looking at particular situations, whether it's on the business side or you, and they bring all they got, all their expertise and all their resources to help push it forward. And you can also still use that same framework and turn it to someone else that's in that same tribe. And you're respecting the relationship there is that everyone agrees that we're all accountability coaches to each other. We're going to tell each other hard what you're not doing, because we want you to grow. We're going to challenge you. And it's not about like looking at each other like buddies. because in terms of like that, like, or don't look at each other, try to be mothers or fathering someone because you don't want to protect them. You want to push them, like, go, you can do this. So that's what the tribe is a community effort to move everyone together in a progressive state.
Yeah, I think one of the things is it's hard, and I'm speaking for myself, but I think a lot of people probably feel this way. It's hard to put yourself out there and feel that you're in a safe community and can be vulnerable enough to, talk about the, weaknesses or, struggles you have in your business. It can be very difficult. Is there anything you recommend to find like a space that will work for you, or like a way that you vet, a different community? Can you offer anything there?
I think it's two different tracks that individuals can be on. If it's to the point where you really are holding a lot of stuff in, it takes work to come out and be honest and be accountable with yourself first before you can allow anybody else to hold you accountable, because in that case, you'll be just defensive the whole time because you're not ready to look at yourself.
Right.
So with individuals who are looking for tribes in that way, that your tribe can evolve with wherever you are at that point in time. You can change it up. So if you're in that space, you're not ready, you know when you're not ready to hold yourself accountable, right? Like, when you're not being honest because you secretly tell yourself that stuff at night, right? So you can have yourself around empowering people who are about just being authentic. And it was a path I had to learn how to walk for over a year of mindfully practicing, putting myself first, letting go, releasing some of that frustrations and worries I have, and being honest about where I was and what I was doing to myself. Once I got there, then my members of my tribe started shifting based off where I was and what I needed for the business.
All right. I think it's difficult. Well, first of all, I think there's a lot of people that have a hard time, like we've talked about, being vulnerable and admitting that you do make mistakes and you're not perfect and things go wrong. But I think a lot that makes that difficult is the trolls on social media. It is a hard place. I mean, we're building tribes on social media. And I think it's difficult to find that community where, and that's what we try to do in Consignment Chats, is make sure we're keeping it a safe space. And it's finding and building those safe spaces where you have those like-minded people where you can be fragile and vulnerable and not get beaten down, because there are a lot of people that like to sit behind a computer and beat people down, so.
The other
you are
thing
absolutely
is, like,
right.
when you have a business, you don't, like, so I have my customers and my consigners. I never want them to see what's going on behind the scenes with my business. Like, that has to be private. It's not only protecting me, but I want to feel safe that they're not seeing, like, I'm struggling with this, or I'm, trying to get to this goal. Like, it's not meant, it's a totally different audience, so we're social with our business, and then, finding that community behind the scenes where we can talk about frustrations and goals and.
Right. And that's interesting because there's a split for me as running my own e-com business, and then me trying to do Reselliant, is that with Reselling, I made that choice to put the spotlight on me to watch me struggle.
Yep.
Because I believe that in order to encourage other people to step forward, is let me see someone else go through it. Let me someone demonstrate. I understand that emotion, and I can step forward too, because you're okay and I can be okay too. And their okay is different from mine. And you're right. In the reselling community, you said that I love the community that you created, and you're controlling that environment. But when we get in a reselling community of other groups, we often see there's groupthink, negative. Let someone post something about a customer return, and then 100 conversation of just bad. And that people don't realize that's energy that you are absorbing, and that's stuck in your head for the next 2-3 hours. You can't think and make positive decisions that way.
Yeah, I agree.
I could not agree more. And it's tempting, as somebody running a community to put something negative out there, because it gets so much engagement and so many responses. But we don't do that. We've chosen not to do that. Not to say we won't do thought-provoking things, but
Libby, you said something one time, and I can't remember the words, when we were talking about our social media followers or subscribers to YouTube. Basically, we're not looking to build 1 million followers and 1 million participators. We're looking to build an authentic group of people who are truly there to be vulnerable and supportive and put themselves out there to help each other grow,
Right. Yeah. Right. That is absolutely correct, because there's negativity draws more attention, get people excited and like round up, and then everyone want to watch it like a WWF match.
This is why I'm quitting eBay. This is why I can't resell anymore. I quit.
Right. Yeah. But that also plays into when people fall into that trap, watching everybody else, because because we equate followers to success. And we have to learn how to disconnect. It don't matter about the followers. What matters is the meaningful and authentic nature of the content that's helping you grow. And that's the question that in my tribe are always asking, is that helping you grow? Is it stalling you or holding you back to what you were thinking or feeling? What did you do and learn about yourself and your business to move forward after that time you spent there? So I absolutely love the community you've created. And it really is a challenge to get people to understand that when I create content, I'm not going to get a lot of likes. I know that. I know that. But there's going to be 1 or 2 people who I believe that you can inspire growth by just bringing awareness about themselves and in their business in order to change their mindset so that they can be inspired within to make those changes to move them forward. So you're right. I'm not trying to create a million followers.
Right.
Really well said.
Here's really my question that just came to me when you were saying that about, looking at things. How often in a day of your business do you have to think deep in what you're oh gosh, I'm losing my words. Think deep in what you're saying. Like you were just talking about how you're putting things out there to keep it positive and people's comments, and you rethink about the meaning of that. And is it helping you grow your business? And is it good for your business in the end? Do you rethink that every time you post something? Or have you done this so long now that it's just natural to you? Like I overthink, Libby will tell you. You just seem so strong.
I'm an underthinker, Molly.
I'm an overthinker. You just have such a strong presence to me. And I'm just in awe of that strength that I'm sitting there.
Appreciate that.
Like, do you think about every time you post that, like, okay, is this growing my business? Or you just know it now? And it's just, this is a very personal kind of business question, but I'm just in awe of it.
From the stuff that I put out there, it's not something that I have to think about. It's something that I feel it has always resonated with me. Okay. I've always from a young age, like from high school, where I would sit there and look at where people were in that journey and I always had an interest in people, of where they were at that moment. What do they need to be free and move forward? What was good for them so they could see it in themselves. I've always operated from an inspirational side of it, but it's probably because I was brought up with my dad who worked in community service. I was always there because I was just, I guess the best way to say it is that I have operated for over 20 years with the belief that I am a vessel to allow blessings to pass through me. In order for me to do that, I have to be open in order for other ones, for God to work through me. And I have to be mindful about myself. And it's not about me changing someone. It's about me showing and allowing it to flow through me to them, for them to be blessed. Because I don't control that blessing.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just wow.
Do you see what I mean about how thoughtful she is?
This is such a gift that you have. I am like, wow.
And then there's the other thing is that it is because I think in that way, you see online where people say stuff about their customers.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that what you put out there, it comes back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes our customers.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they seem ungrateful, you never know where they are. And if you might allow me to just share a story real quick.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I was working in a call center and I was dealing with hardships and bankruptcy, and I was a counselor at the time. And the lady got on the phone and she was just rude as can be. Just cut me off, talking down to me, just so angry. And you can get caught up and be like some other reps and just be nasty right back and hang up the phone or whatever else. But I work with that premise that I got to be an open vessel. I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to be positive. I'm going to give her love through whatever way I can do it. And I was just polite. Yes, ma'am. I understand. Acknowledging and validating where she was and her feelings and angry because I knew it had nothing to do with me. Now, that passed. 2 months later, I get my supervisor tells me that they need me to come into the office because I counseled someone and something happened, right? I thought I was in trouble. Ooh. They told me a lady talked to me. She called looking for me. And she gave the date, wanted to know who the rep was. And she explained she wanted to apologize for her behavior. And she wanted to talk to me personally because that had always resonated with her. That was something that was there for her to remember, like there was a goodness in my life at some point when I couldn't see nothing, right? So I got to talk to her. She asked if we could exchange the information personally because she'd like to take the conversation further with my supervisor, got permission to do so. And then I learned about what she was going through. Her daughter was murdered along with her grandson. And she was in bankruptcy because of the financial legal battles, legal issues and the costs and medical things. All of it was just ripped her financially up. And she was in that moment. That was back in 2008. It is 2021 and me and her are still good friends.
Oh,
I'm like teared up.
I know. You are such a blessing. Like,
wow. And that's a really good lesson. Like, you just don't know where someone is in their life. You just don't know.
You don't.
Yeah. And
I do say that.
What's reselling?
I say that to my husband.
Is about that.
Yeah.
It's about that because I stepped away for a long time in my own struggles and I closed up and I didn't talk to anyone. I stayed to myself. I just took I was never one to direct my negativity out to other people. I internalized it. I beat myself up. I hurt myself worse than anybody could, no matter what anyone said to me. And in the reselling world, when women are at home and they're struggling with their children, divorces, you don't know what we're going through as women, what we struggled. We can look at each other and judge each other. You could have had a PhD and fell down. Oh, yeah. And it's doing something to you in the back of your mind that you had this high career. And now everything changed and women going through divorces and separation and struggles with their children. All of that's in your head, and most of this are a lot of single women. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of single women or women who are in relationships who are disconnected from their loved one or spouse in the household, still trying to build this business up because this is the one thing that's giving them life. But then they're overcome with that stress and they can't see where they are. And reselling to me is just a beginning. It is an opportunity for you to grow in ways that you could never imagine. And tribes help you do that.
Oh, I love that. Now, one of the things, so for somebody looking for their tribe, one of the things you said, and just give me your feedback on this was, after you engage with something, let's say you're in a tribe or in a community or whatever, to say to yourself, I forget exactly what you said. I don't want to misquote you, that you need to mindfully say to yourself, what is this moving my business forward? Is this good for me? Do you think that would be good advice for somebody just, stepping in and trying to evaluate? And
yes. I think the questions I think the best way that when when a reseller steps into this, what do I need?
Mm-hmm.
And they start telling people, just start selling stuff around us. No. I would never tell someone that. I would tell them first,
okay,
let's talk about where you are. Where are you mentally? Where are you emotionally? Are you ready for what it takes to take on a business? Are you ready for the stress of this job, the roller coaster? People don't know about the roller coaster. And if we can ask people that question first, are you ready for the roller coaster?
Wow.
People could sit there and say, yeah, like they know where they are. They know what they're willing to take on and what it means to them. If you address people right off the bat, you're going to have high days and no really low days. And the low days going to get you. Are you ready? And if you're not, let's talk about that. And we only need a few days. I'm not going to stop you from building your business, but that's most important, to deal with where we are going into business ventures, because it's an investment, it's an emotional and mental investment.
Yeah. And I think that's something that's really not addressed when people are, starting. And I think
we don't address it.
We know.
We say,
we're going to
start with what's in your house.
Yeah, we're going to start though. I think that is, really
start quoting Catherine, our friend Catherine. Catherine, first of all, I'm sorry, Libby, we're overdone. I just want to say this. I think we need to put a doctor in front of Catherine Burch, because
honestly, we do resale therapy in my business, but we need Catherine therapy.
Right.
Yeah, it's complementary. It is. We can't take ourselves out of our business because it's in our home. Mm-hmm. It's all around us. We can't stop thinking about it. And the best thing we can do is learn how to nurture ourselves so we don't allow this monster of a reselling business control us.
Yeah. And I think that's probably one of the reasons, the failure rate. I mean, how many people have I seen through the years? Maybe 2 out of 100 make it, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
And how many people go into struggling, their relationship become contentious because we got death pals and your spouse ain't happy and you keep shopping. And then now you're at each other. How many times have you been in communities and you've seen people ask, my boyfriend, my husband, my wife do not support me in my business. Mm-hmm. And then you have a lot of people understand that. Mm-hmm. And the way they deal with it is all different. But I was like, but you're not getting to the root issue. What is it about it that's causing that problem? What's causing that strain? And we don't have enough conversations about that to help people move forward.
I totally agree. Having, been through that, I totally agree. And a lot of times I don't see that being addressed in the reselling community. A lot of times it's my partner's so supportive. That's why, I'm so successful. I couldn't do it with a lot of successful resellers do have a very supportive partner. And I'm just talking for me personally, not for my other two community members. This is just me. It can be a very isolating thing to be going it alone when you see so many successful people talking about how they couldn't do it without their partners. So for me, that is definitely an emotional struggle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I Molly, what about, did you ever experience that where someone is not supporting and
I'm on the other side of that. My husband is uber supportive to the point that I have to tell him to slow his roll. Back it up. Back it up.
For me, it was a transition. My husband was supportive, and the supportive of me pursuing a business. When I was caught up in myself and not doing what I was supposed to do, it wasn't that he wasn't supportive of the business. He wasn't supportive of the way in which I was running it. And I wasn't talking about it. So because I didn't want to talk about it, it just kept making it worse. And it kept getting worse. He didn't like the death pals. He didn't like the secrets of me not really talking about the money. And we just kept getting into battles. And more, I'm moving myself away to say, don't talk to me about this is mine. The precious, that's what it starts turning into, like Lord of the Rings. leave my precious alone.
Yeah.
And he's just saying to me, I want to support you, but you're not doing this in a way that's balanced for us. It is taking over our house. It is taking over my vehicles. You are never available because your brain is always on your business. And he's asking for me to give time. And now that, he's always bringing up, I did all that work for you to have that time and you blew it away, and that you feel some kind of way. But now that I've gotten to that space where I can be accountable, yes, I did do that. I did waste that time. I did waste all that money and grow out of it. We're stronger. We can have these hard conversations.
I think
we can
that
have
is
those hard
amazing.
conversations.
That is amazing.
And the fact that you put that out there, I mean, I follow you on social media, on Instagram and social media, and the fact that you put that out there and we're so open about it is just, so inspiring. Like, you never know, like, it definitely touched me. You never know how many people you're impacting by sharing that story. It's really a beautiful thing you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you.
I want to have you back. We need a part 2.
Oh, yes, we do.
I've
already been thinking.
I know. And you know what? This episode is full of so many quotes. You have so many quotes. I don't know that you even realize that, but when you speak, there are so many powerful things that come out of your mouth. I'm already thinking of all the little images I'll put together to share your quotes, through our community and yours. It's amazing. It's really, I think we could pick a topic and have you back and hit topics, because I can't imagine that. I feel like I'm on Crime Junkies. I got full body chills. It's a blessing. I mean, you have a gift. You have a God-given gift.
Thank you.
That you are sharing with this community of people. That's amazing. It's amazing.
And you are a very supportive member of our community, Consignment Chats community as well. So we definitely appreciate that.
Yes.
I talked your group up a lot to people because I love the content that you're bringing. I absolutely love the book that you brought to the fore. That's helping us grow and think about our business. And that book catches you if you won't do what you're supposed to be doing. Like, no.
It's about that accountability and putting it out there. The one chapter, and we're talking about Profit First, is called, what is it called? The Naked Truth, or Getting Naked, or something along those lines. And just really makes you put it out there. Like, you need to look at this and you need to take a cold, hard look at the facts. And
you got to keep bringing it. And I would always love to, help in any way with just bringing that other perspective about us looking at ourselves in relation to what we're reading and seeing and how we're digesting it and what we're putting back out and towards our business.
That would be fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yes.
I know we had some other questions, but for this episode, we have talked so much because this has been such an in-depth, amazing conversation that I'm serious about. I think I'm just saying it without the team talking. We need to have you back because there's still a few questions we haven't gotten to ask.
Absolutely.
I would love to.
Thank you
You're phenomenal.
so much. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
you gave the opportunity. And I appreciate you reaching out in that way.
Yeah. Great.
We will reach out again, and we will put all the links in the show notes and all, so everybody can find ways to contact you, because I have a feeling people are going to want to be more connected with you. If they aren't already, they're going to realize they need to be, because I can't fathom you haven't hit home with everybody at some point today. So
I gotta hold myself accountable because I'm behind, like getting that stuff updated. I need to put some updates on that content. So definitely, yes.
Well, this will help you stay accountable. This will help you stay accountable. But I can't thank you enough for your time. I know Libby feels the same, right?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I'm sorry Tiffany missed this, but thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing more from you in our community and scheduling another get together.
All right. I look forward to it. I love talking to y'all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
Catherine.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Mind blown.
Yes.
Like, He is amazing.
I couldn't wait for you to really meet her one-on-one, because I have such admiration for her and the way she has put her story out there. And it's something I could personally never do. And she's so thoughtful and just so inspirational,
Knowledgeable, inspirational. Y'all, there's going to be quotes coming through from this. I'm going to be making up all kinds of artwork with her quotes, because if you didn't feel, as I said, full body chills, I'm taking that from Crime Junkies or Crime Junkie podcast listeners. If that didn't give you the other kind of full body chills, some of the things she said, I just I got to go back and shave my legs because the hair grew. That's how bad my chills were. Holy moly. What, as I said to her, what a gift she has, an absolute gift. It's amazing. And I'm so glad that she's a part of our community, of the CChats community and our group.
Oh, yes. Yes.
How blessed are we to have somebody like that to get into comments and help people in our community? And
yes.
Speaking of community, Libby, do you know we don't have Tiffany today?
I know. I'm running some last minute. There's been so much going on in the community. And I'm just going to give you a couple of quick updates here. I was just looking it up. Saw me looking to the side. I was looking up what our community chatter is this week. One of the things that we're addressing in our community, Michelle of Salvage Garden, who you got to know in one of the previous CChats Spotlights, had questions about item expirations and how different businesses handle it when things come off consignment. So there's a lot of really good advice and answers, and you can head over to our CChats community on Facebook and participate in that discussion, or take a look at what different people are doing, because there were a lot of really good answers and they were all different. So there's a lot of really good ways to handle item expirations. The other thing we had going on was one of our members, Terry, was asking, her brother had given her auto parts to sell, and she was just kind of maybe a little resistant to doing it on consignment or selling. So people were offering her advice. She was trying to get her brother to do it for himself, but so she's dealing with that. And I think, I don't know, I usually don't have this strong of an opinion, but I think she should absolutely go for it. I mean, with his auto parts expertise and her reselling expertise married together, that's a consignment made in heaven.
I guess so. Yeah. I know we talk sometimes about how tough it can be with family, but that could be a really good partnership for sure. Yeah. Wow.
But if somebody really wants you to do it and they give you full control,
so these are the awesome things that we get to talk about in our community. And don't you love, I love getting other people's inputs, because you learn something new every week with questions that get out there and the feedback that comes from other resellers, and you get to learn something new. And I love that.
Mm-hmm. Always learning. And there are definitely some strong opinions, like you just mentioned a second ago, about working with family and doing consignments for family. And they run the spectrum. Yeah. But you will find some really good advice if you decide to do it, how to do it.
The right way to handle the family, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
I mean, they're your family and you love them, but woo.
So if you guys want to be part of that community, you can find that on Facebook. If you want to find ways to connect with us, go to consignmentchats.com. All right. You can find out there every way to connect with us. Also get connected with the book club that we've started, which is phenomenal. We mentioned that earlier. And we will move on to another book, and we're always taking suggestions for that too. I just love that. I love that we added that out of nowhere. And I think it's been a lot of fun to add the book club. So you don't want to miss out. So make sure you get over there and become a part of not just our Facebook and our social media, but the actual group itself. What am I missing here? Oh, hello. I mean, I know you love coming to hang out with us. So just be sure you subscribe, right? I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Click that subscribe.
Hit the bell. Clicking the bell.
Click that little
Click the
bell. Ring that little bell so you get notifications when new things come out. Feedback, always love it. It really is important. We call it a side hustle. We're just here enjoying the community, but your feedback helps that grow and helps us stay relevant and out there. So, and we love comments always. Yeah. We love to get feedback from people and we love to share it because it's fun.
Yeah, so, I didn't get to look up this week some reviews. We do like to read some reviews every now and again. The one thing you can do on Instagram is use hashtag CCsuccess in one of your posts, and we will share that with our community. So we do that every week. We look for the hashtag CCsuccess, and we like to put that out to the community. Sometimes we talk about it on the on our podcast, YouTube episode videos. Yeah. So
love it. So come join us. And I don't have my mug because I am shooting from another location. But until next week, cheers.
Thanks for joining Libby, Molly, and Tiffany, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we talked about all things consignment. To learn more and keep chatting, find Consignment Chats on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, and Instagram.